Hello everybody, Caventia here, but you can call me Cav. We're here at Invictus launch week on Anvil Day. RCIG trying to pull a fast one on us. Let's get into it. Let's see what we have in the haul today. We have in this haul the ugly Duckling Gladiator, the beautiful Light Fighter Arrow, a couple of Pisces, the Hawk, the majestic Carrack, and hidden in the back, the forgotten Terriple. The Arrow is one of the most maneuverable light fighters in the game. It comes equipped with size 3 and a pair of size 1 weapons, and a small arsenal of missiles. Its exceptionally small cross-section makes it quite difficult to hit. The Gladiator is quite an unusual ship. It has a turret, and it is a pretty competent missile slinger. But some people really like and appreciate this ugly Duckling. The white one next to me is the C8X, the expedition version of the Pisces. For such a small ship, it has a surprisingly large interior, including spaces for 4 SCU of cargo. The C8R Pisces was already on my list for one of the most useful ships in the game. This opinion has only been further enhanced now that you have the ability to respawn on the Pisces. Ignore the picture, making it an even more compelling purchase. If you don't have this ship already, I highly recommend renting it for bunkers. The Carrack is an absolute beast of a ship, with a vehicle bay for multiple small vehicles or some of the medium vehicles, a never-ending cargo tube, an armory, a 4-deck elevator that should have been 5, a really cool cartography station that doesn't currently work, a medical bay with a tier 2 bed, and an extra small hangar on top that comfortably fits a Pisces, and a secret exit that still hasn't been patched. The Anvil Hawk is designed as a bounty hunting ship. It has a staggering amount of weapons, although they're all quite small in size. It also has, well, it had, so this previously had a bed where you could put a captive in. Unfortunately, it looks like it's been replaced ahead of the new bounty hunting update. This attaches to one of those bounty pods, and then I believe you press the button on the side, and it would take that bounty inside the tail so that you can transport them for justice. And the last item in this room is the long-forgotten Terriple. This is a scouting ship designed for reconnaissance and a whole bunch of radar gameplay that sadly isn't in the game yet. Just this sad and terrifying looking chair in the middle of a cold, dark space. It's a shame it's quite a good looking and heavily armoured little ship, and I hope eventually this will end up performing a similar role to the Raptor in Battlestar Galactica. In this room we have a much slimmer set of Hornets. We have the original Hornet, the Anvil F7C Mk. This is an older ship. It's gone through some iterations, but the original ship was put in the game in 2015. It does seem like CIG are trying to cause a little bit of FOMO with this one, because I heard a rumour this might be the last time you can get your hands on one, as it's getting phased out. Buy this blue version, the F7C Mk. By completing the Overdrive initiative, you can convert the F7C Hornet to the F7A Hornet. There's only a limited time to do that, and I have a guide on how to do it in the top corner, as well as a review of this beautiful ship. Unfortunately, the F7A Hornet is currently not available for consumer test flights. I think this is trying to encourage you to do the missions in order to upgrade this to this. This chunky boy behind me is the Anvil Valkyrie. Yoink. The Valkyrie is Anvil's dropship. This is a heavily armoured vehicle designed to drop troops and vehicles to the front lines. But sadly, it's not wide enough for even the smallest of the tanks, the new Tumbril Storm. This is my favourite two-seater fighter. The Anvil Hurricane has 2 size 4 weapons for the pilot and 4 size 3 weapons for the gunner. Although it isn't quite as performant as the Scorpius is in the current build, I think it's a pretty little ship. Shame about the default paint scheme, but well worth a rent. And finally, we have the F8C Lightning. This is the consumer version of the military F8A, has a whole load of size 3 weapons and a couple of size 2s, all under the pilot's control. It represents a significant amount of DPS in a single ship, with a reasonable amount of hull, HP, and shield. Quite a formidable fighter, but not as maneuverable as the Hornets that we saw before. There's a review for the ship in the top corner for your convenience. And down the stairs, we have Anvil's ground vehicles, surrounded by, for some reason, dozens of humans. This is the Ballista. It's the Centurion platform with lots of missiles, including some size 7s. It's quite formidable at locking down ground-based facilities. The sister ship to the Ballista is this one next to me, the Centurion, which swaps out the missiles for big guns. The final and least interesting version of the Anvil platform is the Spartan. This has some seats for troops, and that's about it. It's an APC. What more do you want? And in the Holo room, we have the Crucible, the giant repair ship. It's quite a cool concept, and I look forward to seeing it in the metal. There's also the Legionnaire, which is in development but may not be here until next year. And finally, the Anvil Liberator. This is a mini carrier, which will be capable of transporting at least 3 aircraft, along with some ground vehicles inside. It turns out, with the discontinuation of the Mark I Hornets, they will be doing new variants of the Mark II Hornet in the near future. And it seems Mark I Hornets won't be available for much longer. I feel like this is a filthy little fear of missing out cash grab on CIG's part to essentially put an in-game ship out of commission that's currently in the game while the game's still in alpha. It feels a little dirty. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Let's check out the store. Over on the RSI store, as usual, we have Anvil Aerospace with some pretty shots of the pretty ships. Now this is what I'm talking about. F7 Hornet Mark I, say goodbye to a legend. I don't understand this. To the enemy it was a weapon never to be underestimated, to allies a saviour. The F7 Hornet is the same dependable and resilient multi-purpose fighter that became the face of the UEE Navy. Say goodbye to the classic Hornet Mark I, joining us as we send Anvil in commemorating its venerated service. What the heck? A legacy of service, Hornet Mark I. Ever since its debut, it's risen to excel in a variety of roles, from recon to dogfighting, blah blah blah. While it enjoyed a long and illustrious service, we're winding down production of this legendary classic. It's pixels! Mark I. And they're showing off all the different versions. That's the Mark I civilian version, that's the military version, that's the Super Hornet, that's the one with the 2 seats. That's the tracker, the one with the radar, that never had radar. So this, fitted with advanced radar suite, specializes in ranged reconnaissance. It never did that. It literally never had its primary function, and they're retiring it. And this is actually my favorite version of the Mark I Hornet, the Ghost. Really like that ship. I got videos about it. I'll share on the top right. Last chance. This is just FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. Heritage paints. They're doing it in blue. Oh yeah, you can buy the whole collection for only $650 Warbond. And Warbond's with a discount. I mean, come on. This is kind of infuriating. Am I the only one who's pissed off about this? Crash and burn of the Hornet, is that what we call this episode? The Warbond daily deal is for the Valkyrie, which you can pick up for a $25 saving. All of the Hornets are currently in the upgrade tree if you did want to upgrade to them, but if you're like me and you do like, for example, the Hornet Ghost, they are probably gonna make this disappear and then try and charge you more money for the Mark II version of it. Make of that what you will. And of course the other ships that we saw today are also available for sale. A tribute to an icon, virtually a military spec medium fighter. Enemies have nowhere to hide with a radar dish that doesn't frickin' work. A ghost on the battlefield, a classic fighter. Rise above. Just to further expand on the Hornet thing a bit, CIG have put an FAQ, which I'll link in the description. Bid farewell to a true legend. People should have been grateful to have ever flown this piece of history. It's going to become a rare collectible. Will the Mark I Hornets still get their gold passes? Yes. Will they still be earnable in-game? Short answer, no. They'll stop being available for pledge, for purchase, and for rental in-game. There will be ways to earn Mark Is in the future, but they're not ready to share those plans yet. So, mission locked, I guess. Reputation, who knows. Will the bespoke mount still be earnable in-game? Who would have asked earnable? Take into account, this was an FAQ before any of us knew that this was happening, so it's definitely not frequently asked questions, it's future asked questions. Will we have in-game events that allow Mark 1s to get a free Mark 2 upgrade? No immediate plans. Maybe in the future. How will this affect their tuning and balance? Will continue to be tuned. It looks like if you can melt it, you can still buy it back, and you'll still be able to use the upgrades. So CCU chains will still work. Pilots who have a Mark 1 in their hangar before the announcement will get the blue paint. Bid farewell to a legend. Removed from the store. More FOMO. Another FOMO marketing move. What have you guys become? 101 lose the trust of customers. Yeah, the community's not going to be happy about this. Thanks for watching, everybody. And bye-bye. A never-ending cargo tube.